St. Peter uses the phrase born again twice in his first letter. And the phrase implies that we've already been born at least once, and we all come into this world in the regular way through our mothers and as infants. But what we learn later, especially when we study the Bible in the small catechism, is that there is more to this than just a regular birth. We are born spiritually dead. The original sin and its wages, death, brought into the creation by Adam and Eve's rebellion against God, are passed on to us. We are also born spiritually blind. We cannot see God or our own way to salvation. And when Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, they hid from God as if that were really even possible. What they were soon to realize was that while God could see them, they could no longer see God without help from God. And they passed on this to us. We come into this world with a natural knowledge that there is some kind of God in the universe, but we cannot reach Him in our natural, sinful state. And if that weren't bad enough, there's one more piece of bad news. Not only are we born the first time spiritually dead and spiritually blind, but we are also born active enemies of God. The Bible puts it this way: the intention of man's heart is evil from his youth. And this is our natural state from conception and our first birth. I probably don't have to tell you that you sin every day. Those of you who got behind the wheel of a car this morning, what happened when the other driver cut you off or you got stopped by the train? Those of you who have children, what happened when at breakfast your toddler thought it would be hysterical to throw his cereal bowl across the table just as you sat down for a quick cup of coffee? Last week, when your project team missed their deadline for a presentation. Thursday, when you walked into English class and the teacher pulled out a pop quiz on the chapter assigned but which you didn't read yet. You get the idea? We sin every day. And the Bible is crystal clear. The wages of sin is death. What hope is there? We are sinners. We are worthless. We are weak. But there is one who puts worth in us, puts strength in us, and does something about our sin. Jesus Christ, who was born just like us, and that He would live His life in all ways like us, except with this one significant difference. He lived His life perfectly, and in His love for us, Jesus took all our sins from conception to final breath and borne them in His body on the tree of the cross. Not only did Jesus die on the cross to do all this for us, 3 days later, He rose from the dead. And that is why we are now born again. The old sinful human nature way of life is drowned and dead with all sins and evil desires when we are baptized. And now a new man or woman emerges, born again, to live before God in righteousness and purity forever. Or, as St. Peter writes it, He Himself bore our sins in His body on the tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By His wounds you have been healed. This is what it means to be born again.